Welcome to another in the series, The Sip and the Chat. Welcome to another in the series, Sip and the Chat. I'm your host, LELEITH Tomlinson, and we just want to be grateful that this is indeed a special day that the Lord hath made, and we have a right to rejoice and be glad in it. I trust that you're all having a great time as the days are going by so quickly. We are almost in the second week, if not of February, and we just give the Lord thanks for that. Well, today I'm joined by a colleague, a friend, and I'm very happy that she's here with me today. I want to welcome back to the set of Sip and Chat. I just remembered you were here before on a different occasion. I want to welcome you to the set of Sip and Chat. My guest today is Miss Dacoda Mitchell, right? And I'm smiling because we have this thing about calling wrong names, right? Yes, we do. Everybody said that when they're introducing me, there are certain things that they will definitely have on my thingy, and that is about giving people other names. But today we want to talk about a very special topic, and I really am excited that you're here with me. I feel so very proud of you. You know, you're talented, really, really very multifaceted young lady, gifted. You are an MC. You are a fitness guru. Fitness guru. You're a nutritionist. You have your executive job that you do, and you still find time to motivate other people as well. And most of all, you're also an actor, and you do a lot of infomercial. So I just want to welcome you. I feel very honored to be in your presence, such a very talented person. And just tell Sip and Chat who you are today.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Dacoda Mitchell, as Dr. LELEITH Tomlinson would have shared, and this is my second time here. So say, girl, I go on with herself, right? I was very happy when you invited me to speak on this topic about talent, because other than my executive side, my talent is my everything.
Your bread and butter.
My bread and butter too. You understand, So I was very happy when you invited me, because this is my passion that we're going to talk about. So I'm ready to go when you are.
Excellent. So our topic today is, what is your talent? Now, I know a lot of people out there, once they hear a talent, they're like, I can't sing, I can't do this. And they seem to just give up on that word talent and just focus on what it is that they probably do for a living, not recognizing that in that same thing, therein lies their talent, right? Yes. So the first thing we want to do today is that we want to define what is a talent. And for you, Dacoda, what do you think the word talent is? What is a talent?
Well, talent for me is your natural ability, something that you were either born with or something that you learn along the way, a trait that you learn along the way.
Right. So as I said, talent is nothing, is an innate, right? That's what our person described it as, an innate ability that you probably got from birth, right? And sometimes it's generational, because your mom could do it or your grandma could do it. And then here you are manifesting the same skills as well. So I just want to say that talent is mental power and the ability, right? A person that someone uses to gain from, or just to entertain, but it's an innate quality that you have. So one of the first things I want to say is that I have known you to be a very talented person, but that's a very generic term. But talk to us about exactly what are your talents.
Before we go there, allow me to just highlight to persons that we have several talents. So like you mentioned earlier, when you said someone says you're talented, the first thing people think is artistic talent. But there's so many other talents out there. You can either be a runner, you can be a singer, you can be good at dressmaking, you can be good at cooking. So there's so many problem solving. There's so many talents out there. But just that our culture thinks once you hear talent, they think the only thing they zoom into is artistic. We can't sing, we can't dance, we can't act. But the talent that I have been blessed with, thank you God, is the talent of being artistic. From a younger age.
What age was that?
9. 9 is when I discovered that girl was talented. Because I have a quirky sense of humor, and I I imitate what I see the actors do on television. So I'll see somebody being angry and the snap of a finger, I can just switch. And then tears, and I can just switch. And then my family used to say, look a girl, you know, so you can't act. You have to do acting. So at that point, I didn't know what acting was per se, but I was always drawn to imitating,
Right.
you know, having these different facial expressions, talking to my colleagues, my friends. We're younger picnic. We don't know nothing about what this is, but I always end up doing it.
Right.
And my family always encouraged me to, you can go do acting, man.
Right.
That's where it started. Somebody has
So
to identify.
right. So at 9-year-old, there you were exhibiting some skills and some tendencies.
Yes.
And your family members say, wow, you know what? I think we have something here.
Yes.
And, you know, isn't it strange? I think about people like Usain Bolt as well. Like I remember his mom say, you know, she would send him somewhere. He would just run to the shop. Yes. He would just run to the shop and he would run back. And, you know, people probably say, he's ADHD, you know, he's hyperactive or so on. Or you have other people like, they would just always seem to be talking. And, you know, people just nonchalantly say, you can't chat to you. You can't chat to you.
Oh, God, and they would say, my report so many times.
Right. And they would either say, you're going to be a lawyer or you're going to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? So I like what you said earlier on, that one of the things that we have to understand is that there's a wide spectrum when it comes to talents, right? Not just some of the things that you immediately think of, which are going to get into how to identify those talents, but also more importantly, just trying to make sure that first of all, we identify them. So at 9, you heard this, you know, you're good at this, you're good at this.
Yes.
But at 30, I think it was 13, you said something that I found very interesting. At that 9, what were you doing with that talent? Just normal?
Just being around my friends and just making people laugh. So I would say some things that I thought was just
regular.
And people would just keel over laughing. I mean, I say,
interesting.
Right. All right. So I'm starting to identify now along with them. And they say, you're good at this, you're good at that. So I said, okay. So then I started to do plays at church.
Right.
And I started to participate in a drama club at school. And then I started to build on that.
I'm so glad you said that, because I want us to understand, because one of the things that we're trying to establish is young children today finding themselves in the right spaces to be able to identify their talents and so on. And the church, as you rightfully say, is such a place where, you know, you get into Sunday school class and you do a little poem, a little recitation, and parents don't recognize how much they deprive their children of when they don't allow them to form those social groups, to be in the play at school, to be in the dance, or to be in the drama, and to be in festival.
That's true.
Which is very current at this time, because a lot of persons are into those pieces.
That is true.
Now, once you recognize, as you became older, talking about nurturing the talent, once you recognize, where did you go anywhere after that? Because I believe in the term, and as my producer puts it, talent refinement.
Yes.
Because I think it's one thing to say, oh, I'm blessed with singing, which I sometimes think in my next life I am.
Practice too.
Practice, right? How do you, I mean, having identified like you have a raw skill, right? How do you refine your talent?
Well, thanks to my mom, who believed in my talent. I told her I wanted to go someplace that would enhance my talent. And she said, okay, let's do some research. And then we found the Excelsior Community College.
Big up Excelsior.
Big up Exed, where they offer performing arts.
Right.
No, when I went to this institution, I never thought in my wildest imagination that I would meet people who are of the similar persuasion as me. When I go there, when I see the amount of people who love acting and the amount of people who love dancing and just all these artistic people, and like you said before, coming amongst people who are of the same persuasion. Listen, that is such a beautiful.
Because now you didn't feel like you were a lonely girl in a lonely world, but you found yourself in the space where you were most cherished, and your skill would be refined. I remember this story. I had a friend right at high school, and he wanted to play basketball. He loved basketball, and somebody identified to him that he could play. I always find this story very funny when he says that, but to play basketball, he thought he was short.
Yes.
So he said that summer, he actually stayed home and he kept shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting until you don't know what happened. But it's like by the time he got back to school, he seemed to have increased in height. You know, probably was just a good sport. But what I'm saying, what I find interesting is that we have to all understand, no matter what those talents are, talent refinement is very, very important.
It is.
Because in the space, there is going to be competition. And competition is not bad, but what competition does is that, say for example, I'm a gymnast again in my next life, right? And I can do, for example, like one twirl,
yes,
right? And I see somebody do a twirl and a split or something like that. Then in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe I could try this and I could bring more life to my craft.
Yes.
So I really believe in the refinement. So tell us some other ways that you can refine your talent.
Be around people who are of the same position. You will learn from them.
Right.
Don't use them as a competition. Use them as a learning and a stepping stone.
Right.
Because there will always be somebody who does what you do with something else.
Right.
So you can look what they do and say, all right, maybe if I act and do my face away, you can tweak it to your add your little spice to it. So you add you act, you add a face, and then you add a twirl.
Right.
And it becomes yours. So that's what we need to do. When you have your talent, you find out what your talent is, go amongst people who are of the same area, the same discipline, learn from them and build on it.
Wow, that's excellent, Dacoda. I was just going to ask you to like a voice in for me because I just love to listen to your voice. I remember the other day you were reading somebody's bio and I was just like, wow, that is just so good. You know, it just sounds so good. But I really want to say that everybody has a talent. And as we talk about competition, you know, I'm a Bible girl, right? So I'm going to go to the Bible, right? So I remembered in the Bible that Jesus was giving out these talents, right? And to one he gave 5, then he gave the rest 4, etc., distribution. But then to one he gave one talent. And the man who got the man who got the 5, he multiplied, he came back. The one who got the 2, he multiplied, and so on and so forth. But the one who got 1, he became so upset. That's what the word of the Lord says. He became so upset because he got 1. And because he got 1, he buried his talent. And isn't it true sometimes that there are some persons who are multifaceted but have not even tapped into the resource and the potency of those skills and talent compared to one who has one little talent and you know how they're able to multiply it. So I want to say to people out there, you know, I have to give this joke as well. The other day I tried on a shoe in my house, right? Everybody in my house were a bigger size. I mean, like I'm 8, you know, I'm 8, right? But at about time I was 8, 8.5, 9, and 10. But my real size is probably about 8. And when I tried on that shoe, it was clear, obvious to my son that it was very, very big. And he said, "Mommy, take it off." And I got something out of it that no matter how it looked good, it was a Clark's. No matter how the shoe looked good, it wasn't my size. It didn't fit comfortable because it wasn't my size and it wasn't mine. And I want to say to somebody, as we talk about talent, stop looking at what other people have.
Amen.
Look within and find what you can do.
What fits you.
What fits you. Because anytime you decide to put on somebody else's thing, you're going to be uncomfortable, right? You're going to be out of line because that's not your fit and it's not your size.
That's true.
And once you find what is yours, own it.
True.
Own your gifting and your talent. Do not try to be anybody else. How important is that? Especially in art, in your art form. Always important to maintain your individuality. How important is that?
Because having a talent, speaking directly from me, from my experience as an actress, my thing is I love acting. But then I would look over to you and see you as an actor and singer and say, I want to be a singer too, but me can't sing. So I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to make a fool of myself because the vocals and the range and all of that you can do, I'm not capable of doing it. Whilst I can learn, my initial niche, my initial talent is acting. Build on that. Build on the acting, and then further on, if I so choose, then I can take on the singing. But if I'm going to be jealous of you that you're a singer along with an actor and then try to oversing you, I'm going to flap myself, and that don't work.
I like how you keep saying, like if I'm a singer.
Yeah, man, I believe in you. I believe in you.
All my friends are watching today. All my friends are watching today because they give me such a hard time. You know, there is my music director at church, Sister Debbie, and she's also my good BFF, but she does always give me a fight when it comes to this singing thing. I want to talk about this, like, talent is not just a passion. I want to read. I think you have a quote. I want you to read from it because I just love to hear your voice. I think it's on the second page.
The one that says your gift will?
No, the one that says is talent just a passion. Yeah, is talent just a
talent just a passion? So it says passion does not equate to skill or talent. The simple fact that we are passionate about something does not mean we can succeed at it. Skill is required regardless of passion. And it does not matter how much we love something, there are no shortcuts. Amen.
Excellent.
Amen. Amen.
And you know what? That's why when I think that two persons have the same talent, so to speak, and you wonder, how come you're progressing with yours and the other person is not progressing with theirs? Because we don't, and I keep coming back to this term. I don't even know if it's a real term, talent refinement, right? So let me share this with you. For example, I was told once, right, before I started this program, I was told that, you know what, you can speak and you like to explain stuff, right? So yeah, my natural gifting, I think, is that I like to teach. But then coming on TV, I had to learn other stuff. I had to learn that now when I'm on television, I can't talk as fast because I tend to talk very fast. So whereas I speak and I might speak well, I tend to go at a very fast pace. So if I wanted to be clearly understood, then I'd have to learn now how to speak without going at the speed. I can't just say, oh, I speak well. No. And you know, sometimes I think because we're not humble enough, when people speak to us, we don't listen. And so we don't use the information gleaned to be able to refine our talent. Now, I want us to talk a little bit about this because I'm so proud of you. First of all, there is a passage in Bible Girl that says your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
I know it has, but talk to our audience about how your gifts have made room for you.
Well, so let's say, oh God, my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much because I love this topic. Whew, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My gift made room for me because when I started acting at 17 professionally, so remember I started at 9,
right?
When they identified it, and at 17, I got my first big gig, pantomime, the national pantomime. Listen, you see the script for pantomime? Speak like an encyclopedia. So for the older folks who know what an encyclopedia is, that was the script. All right, let's take it from here. Another veteran in the theater business in Jamaica theater saw my talent, and she's like, you know, so we can work with you, you know, because you're so humble and you love it, and you take your time, and you take critiques well, and you are teachable and stuff. And she's like, we're going to do something about that. And then she called me one day and said, I have an audition at the Pegasus Hotel. I went to the Pegasus Hotel. I met this man. I don't know this man from Adams. I don't know these people like that because I'm just now coming into the big world of what theater and acting is. And I did the audition, and they said, I like you. Expect a call. And the next call I got a few days ago, girl, going to England. Really? My first visa was an England visa because of my acting.
You never traveled before?
I've never traveled before. I've never left Jamaica before. And the first time I traveled was because of my acting. And I went to England.
For how long?
6 months. Girl toured for 6 months.
Birmingham, Luxembourg.
That is it. That is it.
Lord. So what we're saying here is that our gift will make room for us.
Yes.
And you traveled to England, and your next trip was
Canada.
Exactly. And I'm sure thereafter they were just coming in.
The US. Go ahead.
The island. And where else again?
All 14 parishes of Jamaica.
Excellent too. That's some people understand Kingston.
Yes.
But it's such a pleasure talking to you, Dacoda. But I think this is so important because it's a beginning. It's February. the year is still young, and a lot of people are out there saying, what am I going to do, what am I not going to do? And what I like about the now, the time that we're living in now, is that the society facilitates you doing multiple things.
Yes, it does.
And that's really excellent,
yes,
right? So the whole career paradigm and the whole workplace paradigm has changed. So now somebody is at home working, but they're also using their talent, whether it be videography, whether it be, even nowadays people like to travel.
Yes.
They travel, they take photographs, they come back, they talk about the places. So there's a whole paradigm shift in terms of what is career, what is talent, how can you use that talent, and so on and so forth. So some of you are sitting down on your couch right now and you're saying, boy, can't find anything to do. Are you sure? You need to identify your talents, and we're emphasizing that sometimes to identify your talent, it's what you do effortlessly, what just comes naturally. Some of the fun things that you do, right? And don't let people judge you, because I so recall when I went to church, right? I was acting, I would do little things. I'm not as big as you, but I mean, although everybody say, you know, you miss your calling, but but I can recall like being in high school as well. Like I would do these little plays. I remember one time I had the vice principal nearly falling off her chair because I'd learned this little skit that says, a brave man, a very brave man, once went on a burning bridge and burned up. And I learned that line, and I remember it was a sixth form activity, and I went up and I said it, and you know, people were just like, you're so talented, right? But then I also recognized when I went to church as well that I know I'm trying to fit into what was going on. You know, Miss Mother 15, right? So I'm trying to fit in into what is going on. And I said I wanted to join the drama team. Well, of course, everybody's like, no, yes, Tush girl, you can't do this. There was one role. There was a role for an old lady. And I said, I want to be the old lady. And everybody said, no. The people who were organizing this kid said no. Lower Bell said no. They all said no because they didn't think that I was suitable enough to do that. And anyway, somebody decided to give me a try, and the rest is history. Till some of my friends even called me granny. Right? So we want to encourage people out there to say to them that everybody has a talent. You just have to find out and to work with someone to refine that talent. What your talent and is. So what we said, talent is anything that you do effortlessly. If money wasn't an issue, what you do the most, right? So that's what we're trying to get people to understand. And what do you people ask you to do for them? That is it, right? Because you talk about the acting, right? You do other things as well. Talk to us about that. So now you're in 20 plays, right?
Oh, yes. I've been a part of 20 live play productions, where I would have fit in the role of either leading or supporting. I've done 8 commercials locally. I've done 2 radio dramas, Under the Law being one of the, look here, I born and grew up here under the law. I would have never imagined that I would come being a part of one of the voices for Under the Law. I've done 2 infomercials and just many others. And then while I was at ExEd studying, my lecturer was one of the persons that said, you know, you're a good MC. I have never MC'd before, and I never thought I could. And he took a chance with me.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. Because girl is a talkaholic right now.
Talent is so important, because one of the things I recognize is that sometimes with 2 gigs, right?
Yes.
You can make in 2 gigs what you have to work a month for. And I think it's so important, which is why I think people need to recognize what their talents are.
Yes.
And I share back this because I want people to understand how things can be neatly juxtaposed. Going to church as well. A lot of my experiences are at church. My pastor would just say, Lily, can you just chair? That's what's the word they use.
Yes.
Can you chair this program? Can you chair that program? So I was always the cheerleader. But what I recognized as I refined my skill in being a chairperson was that I was refining my skills to be an MC.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that sometimes the simple things that you're asked to do, if you take put a lot of passion in it and there's a lot of ownership of the activity and do it with a lot of pride. When we say pride, we don't need stout. We mean a lot of precision and so on and so forth. Then it's amazing to know how that same gift can then become your source of income. And I mean, MCs and stuff like that is just something that's very, very, people want it. And you then know you add your own flair because now you're an actor. And so you have your MCing, so you can be able to twin and do it nicely. And automatically your price go up like 1, 2, 3, right? So everybody has a talent. I really want to emphasize that a lot of people are out there saying, boy, nothing now going for me, the system rough and so on. Young people, and that's what I want to also identify as well, because I was speaking to somebody the other day and she said her talent was actually, she knows how to organize her backyard. I was like, what is that?
People will pay you for that,
Listen, for all we knew before was that you drop 2 planters and you sweep a yard and you fix it up nice.
Yeah.
But my friend, she was on last week as well, Donna. She actually went at length, having acquired her home, to decorate her backyard and then use her little phone, right? And now she's a blogger. Monetizing. So we want to talk about that. What would be bad monetizing? Because we keep hearing that word over and over. What does the word monetize mean?
That means when you don't only keep your talent to yourself, but you give it out as a service. So I'm an MC. Yes, I will do free work for my friends and my family, but there will be somebody in the audience that says, no man, I want this girl for my event, and then monetize my talent. With the acting, people will see me on stage and they want me to do another production, monetize my talent. So that's what it is. When you not only keep it to yourself, but you advertise yourself. Right. You become a brand.
Brand Dacoda.
Brand Dacoda.
A brand June plum.
Inside joke.
Brand June plum. All right. So it's just so important. It was part of our, just letting people know that we are gifted. The Lord has equipped us with so many gifts and talent, and many persons have buried their talent under the bushel. But wow, what a season to go look within, see what comes naturally. What do people gravitate towards you for? It could be your gentle voice. It could be your voice that's a little escalated. It could be your warmth. It could be something you do with your hands. Whatever it is that your hands find to do, do it and do it well.
Yes.
Listen, we are all blessed. Final words, Dacoda.
Everyone has a talent. Find your talent. It does not always have to be artistic. It can be problem-solving talent. It can be you're a fixer. You fix anything. Can be that you're good at gardening. You're good at sewing. Find your talent. Make it. Own it, sell it, monetize it, be the best you.
As we close, I want to remind you, a really great talent finds its happiness in execution. Until next time, find your talent. Let us continue to sip and chat.